All right, I got my master out here, Bishop, the trails that I probably have the most miles on. Not exactly my home trails, but basically been riding the S22 out here a lot. I rode the RS out here a lot before that. So now it's the master's turn, and I want to try to do it in the more comfortable setting. So I'll move this guy over to the middle. Now I know it's going to bottom out a lot now, but it's going to be better for going over all the rocks. It's not going to feel so stiff and just like pogo sticky. It'll feel like actual suspension, how it's supposed to work. And then it's going to bottom out all the time on anything, you know, slightly big. But yeah, this is the what is it, the Fox Evil factory DPS float, I guess. I think that's all the right things to call it. It's got about 390 psi in it. It is the 210 millimeter version, so it actually gets compressed maybe I don't know, 15 millimeters, 10 to 15 millimeters of compression before, I mean, just to get it in linkage. So it maxes out at 350, but we can go higher because we're already compressing it. I'm really curious to know, you know, how high I can really go. Like, what if I put 350 in it and compressed it 15 millimeters? How much air pressure would be in it then? That would be the max that I could put in it in the master's linkage. But I don't know that. And it's not very fun to take the shock in and out of the linkage because of the fact that it's like 10 millimeters longer than it needs to be. But I think that we're doing that so that I'm just copying Roger on that aspect, but I think that the reason we're doing that is so that it reaches bottom out faster. I'm not sure if it's right, but my guess. And yeah, we stay on it right here. As much as I've ridden out here, I still always get lost. Luckily I didn't see too many cars parked out there, so we're gonna go up the way that the bikes go down, still keeping an eye out for them. This is kind of the worst time of day to be going up this right now because of the sun. It makes visibility real bad. Oh, slow down and hit this real quick. I'm expecting it didn't bottom out. That's good. I babied it a little bit, but no bottom out. Oh man, it's so hard to see. The glare off my goggles is killing me. It'll be fun coming down though. I might need to just get more miles on the Master, but I think I like the S22 more. When the sliders are working really well, I know I like the S22 more for this kind of stuff. I think the Master would be great to put a street tire on and keep as the road wheel, and then just run the S22 on dirt. And I've got the stock pedal. That was a lot easier, I think, than the S22, but I do hate the tire on the S22, so I've been bitching about that a lot. Although this is still a CST tire, so the compounds are probably not ideal, but it's the pattern, the tread pattern that I'm used to, which actually feels a little squirrely right now, but I think it's just it just feels squirrely because this, I don't know if this is gonna show on camera, maybe look at the pedals. I don't know if you can see that, but I can rock it back and forth just a little bit before it starts to go. And I feel that all the time when I'm, you know, accelerating, decelerating, on and off, getting ready for little bumps and stuff. And I'm just floating in that dead space, and it feels so weird because you're just like not really leaning up against anything. You're just kind of like floating there. God, these pedals are so wide. It's kind of like the fear I had when I had the S22. I should have adjusted these pedals so that they're steeper. As you can see, it's like a whole inch on the side of my foot right there. Almost took me out when we rode the luge. That was interesting. I think I don't even feel the rock that I'm trying to jump over when I do that little maneuver back there on the S22. I think that would be a rebound issue. If I had a faster rebound, it would pop me up higher. But maybe I'm just being too much of a baby on this thing right now. Feels very different than the S22. It's heavier, different tire. They say the S22 is wider, but I honestly feel like the Master's wider. Definitely, I don't know, it feels good between my knees. Doesn't feel like it's wide, but it looks really wide compared to the S22, just looking down on both of them. Clark pad fairings definitely make it look bigger. What do we got? 63 degrees fucking temperature. God damn it. So the other thing is my S22 runs nice and cool, and my Master just melts. And I think I missed, oh, I can take this way. But yeah, my Master just freaking melts. It's at 63 right now. I'll just let it cool down for a second, I guess. So I mean, what do you guys think? Is it just because of the Clark pad fairings? The heat sink is, you know, right down there behind the light. I took off that pad that they had right here, since I don't really need it for protection anymore. I thought maybe it was suffocating the airflow. God, that wobble. It's just so weird. Is that not normal? Everyone says it's normal. I drilled some holes right here to try to get some airflow in there, but I don't think it's enough. They are bigger on the outside. I used a tapered bit because you're supposed to have, your exhaust is supposed to be larger than your intake. But yeah, hot, 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 and I do not know why. Yeah, if you could just get the S22 to not have shitty sliders, that shit is amazing. Look how much pedal is sticking out right there. Who is making these wheels? Alright, the sun's not in my eyes right now. It's always nice. See what the Master feels like with some speed under it. It's like you have to pump up the shock so hard to not bottom out that it basically, it's not as bad as a S22, but it basically becomes the S22 problem where you're losing all the small bump compliance. I think that's the right term. Basically your low speed compression, all the little bumps in the trail and stuff. Yeah, you lose that supple feeling when you pump it up hard enough to not bottom out on any drops and stuff. So it's nice to have an upgraded shock where you can have the compression settings. I can go softer than this. So if I know the trail well enough and I know that there's not going to be anything where I'm going to need that support, I could, you know, leave it in that third position and get all the travel. But yeah, then as soon as I wanted to do anything really fun, it would bottom out and feel terrible. And if I know I'm going to be doing jumps or something, I'll put it in that locked out position and I can still bottom it out, which is crazy, but it stays higher than the travel for most of the trail. Let's see, I don't like going this way, I want to go the other way. 60 degrees, I hate it. I think I like this way. Oh, it's real sandy. I'm like basically blind, chewing through sand with a wheel that already wants to overheat at 72 degrees. Is not going well. What is that? This looks interesting. I've never seen this before. Oh, this is definitely the down way. Holy smokes. Oh, where's the S? Well, I do have the S22 in the car. I have been looking everywhere for some close jumps. And it looks like I finally found some. We're definitely going to have to hit this. Definitely going to have to hit it with the shock locked out. Alright, it's down to 54-ish degrees. We're just going to run it. And I'm looking at this right in front of the jump. It's super sandy. So we're going to have to be careful. This might be one of those roll over everything first and then hit it kind of sections. Alright, so we're going to drop in. We're going to keep it chill over the sand. May or may not try to clear stuff right now. I'm gonna feel that sand first. Oh, sand's not bad. Didn't clear it, but had to check out that sand. I don't think I want to try to clear this right now because this looks kind of crazy. Yeah, all the way to here. Not so bad. We're gonna feel those transitions out first. It looks like I can just go left and get back to the start. Get over it this time, this first one. Yeah, that was a lot of speed. If I took that much speed at this guy right now, I'd definitely make it. But we're just gonna do a little rollover. But yeah, I don't think I need to be afraid of that rock one. I'll clear the rock. I don't know if I'm gonna get into the landing. Yeah, I feel so much better doing that kind of stuff on the S22. For the kind of riding I do, and after being on the S22 for a month, the Masters is really just kind of bumming me out. But oh well, at least it's great on the street, great on road rides. We did a 60-mile ride through the Ortega Mountains and Santa Rosa Plateau with our Masters, and we all made it. I just, of course, almost melted mine. But yeah, I love my S22. I just gotta get the it just takes so much maintenance. You gotta work on it all the time if you use those 3D printed sliders. When the S22's sliders are working great, that wheel is so good. I know it doesn't accelerate like the Master and it doesn't have a top speed like the Master, but I do not care, because I care about jumping and hitting rock features and stuff like that. And man, it does that all so well. All right, let's get this again. That one's nice. Nice little floaty boy. What we're gonna do here? Ah, yeah, I just... Oh, what is that? Honestly, making, like, every time I'm like, oh, whoa, the sand is so bad, I think a lot of that is that weird little neutral rock as well. Just makes everything feel like you're on ice. You're just like not being supported by the wheel anymore. This path here. I'm gonna do the old, I don't know what I was gonna say, the classic route. That's what I meant. I need to change the setting. Really feels quite terrible when it's in jumping settings. I feel like I was very wrong about my choice, and I feel really stoked on how everything went down, and I ended up getting the S22 because it was going to take forever to get my Master. I ended up ordering the Master July 4th, had to wait months to get it, and during those months S22s came in and somebody didn't want theirs, so I picked it up. And yeah, that thing is a freaking beast. Beast on the trail. To me, it's just no question. I just really hope that I keep having good luck with my S22 and nothing bad happens to it, and we can get these sliders figured out, because to me that's the only thing I gotta figure out right now. My motherboard is okay, and I hope my wheels, my motor's okay. Some people went quite a ways before they ever had the motor fail on them. But yeah, I do some pretty gnarly riding, so hopefully that would have made the motor issue show itself sooner. This is probably one of the hardest parts of the climb, but I've got a pretty good line through there now, so it's not as bad as it used to be. I mean, I used to just try the hardest line I could find. Once I stopped doing that, it was a lot easier. Once I realized that just getting up at period is going to be enough of an achievement. How you doing? 75 degrees? All right. Why, though? Why 75 degrees? Anyway, it didn't take too long to cool down. Now to attempt the rocky downhill portion and the speed portion, and just basically getting back to the car in a fun and fast manner. And trying not to melt the wheel. And I'm ready. Alright, how squirrely are you gonna be? Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, just no. It's not gonna go down like that. Let's start over. Oh, there's a little something you can do to connect those. Well, that was not fun. That's that bottom out I was telling you about. So we locked out the suspension, check. Let's try that again. Still might bottom out. Bottomed out, but not super violently like last time. It was like right at the end of what it could support. But yeah, just that little drop there, bottomed out. Feel like that will bottom out. It's like just bottom out, bottom out, bottom out. Ow. Yeah. The Master ain't it for me. I don't think it'll be worth it for me to try to make this a great trail slash jumping wheel. I think it'd be better suited on the road and you know, light off-road stuff, but not like trail riding. Which is pretty disappointing. Really, the most disappointing thing about it is that there's no great trail wheel. I mean, the S22 is it, but it has so many problems. So that's the sad thing about these new wheels, is they're showing us what potential is there and what these things can really do, but they are shitting the bed. And no one wants to pay over $3,000 for something that's just gonna fucking die on you. I mean, I can't really talk shit on the Master. It's just not really what it was built for, I don't think. Or if it was, the S22 is just better to me. I mean, it's I think my opinion is pretty made up at this point. For gnarly trails, I love the S22, and I'm very disappointed in the Master. For, you know, light off-road, sure, you know, take the Master, but it's got more battery range. It's got a higher top speed. It feels really nice to get going fast, but it does not feel nice to do technical things with. And I mean, unless that weird little fucking dead space wobble is just me, because I think that is playing a huge role in how the wheel responds and you know, what experience I'm going to get out of it. But if that's normal, it's not good. Oh. Yeah, everything feels harder for me on the Master. Normally I would say, you know, it's probably just because it's a new wheel, but I rode this thing down the luge twice. That's a pretty serious black diamond trail. So I'm pretty comfortable on the wheel at this point. I can still do things with it. It's just knowing how it all felt on the S22 now doing it on the Master, I'm just, I don't know, like I keep saying, just kind of bummed. I was really hoping that, you know, the S22, I was having so much fun on it. But I was hoping the Master was going to be even better and just kind of blow me away, and I'd forget all about the S22 and trying to fix the sliders and worrying about freaking death motors and just be done with that whole world. But the Master is not going to be able to take the S22's place for me. I know there's a Kuba suspension to try out, but I mean, nothing's going to give you more than 80 millimeters of travel. If they came out with a kit to change the travel and make it at least as much as the King Song, then we might be talking, you know, something I could actually ride. But 80 millimeters is never going to be, you know, less travel is just never going to feel as good as more travel. You're going to have to choke it down and make it compress, you know, crazy compression ratios, and you're going to lose one or the other. You know, you with this wheel, you can either choose to have relatively good small bump compliance. Oh, I'm sorry. You know, big hit compliance, like high speed rebound, drops, jumps, stuff like that, coming up on a rock and hitting it, and stuff like that. The small bumps in the trail, that low speed compression stuff, that's pretty easy to get dialed in on the Master. But yeah, you can choose to either have great normal trail riding and absolutely just terrible jumps and drops, or you can have kind of okay jumps and drops with terrible fucking small bump stuff. And with S22, if you get the sliders working really well, you know, modify them, put some rollers on there. It's a pain in the ass, I know. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. You get great low speed compression and high speed compression. It just all works. You get 130 millimeters of travel to work with, so that just, you know, is more usable. You get to actually tune your shock instead of like going all the way one way or the other with it. I don't think I've ever felt the S22 bottom out, which is not to say that I haven't bottomed it out, but it is progressive, and the compression builds as you're getting lower in the travel, and then it eventually just like slowly bottoms out. But with the Master, it's so easy to just get a smack, and it honestly feels worse than having a wheel with no suspension, because you're not slamming the tire into the ground at that point. You're slamming the frame into the frame, and it's just a like metal on metal impact that just kind of rocks you. All right, let's that fucking rock hides behind that bush so bad. I mean, stay tuned just in case I am eating my words in a couple weeks after riding the Master more, but I'm in my locked out settings, and I am bottoming out on all these little drops off the rocks. And if you go back and see me hit these things on the S22, I'm just hooting and hollering and having a great time because it feels great. It actually feels good to be flying out of the air to flat and just feel like pillows. And I think for myself, the moral of my own story is, you know, I got into the sport and got an RS as my first wheel. I did that because I see Mike Leahy doing cool stuff that, you know, I would aspire to do. So obviously I'm gonna get the wheel that he thinks does it best. Then come time for, you know, Master S22 stuff to come out, he obviously knows what he's talking about because he went with the S22, and I should have just copied him. I should have copied him again. But I mean, that was also right about the time where we saw that New York S22 fire, or S20 technically. And I remember showing my friends, like, dude, I might get one of these things, one of these electric unicycles, check this out. And then showing them the next day, like, dude, look at this fire from one. I'm not gonna get that one. And yeah, I got that one, and it's my favorite. If I did a lot more diverse rides, the Master could do great. The seated riding on the Master is amazing. Give a little break right here. I like to show off for the mountain bikers whenever we get a chance. We gotta build a great relationship with the mountain bikers because they are very protective of their trails, even though you'll probably never actually come across somebody that's done trail work. I have done trail work in Big Bear. But 9 people out of 10 have never done any trail work, but they'll tell you all about how it's a mountain biker trail and you shouldn't be there. So yeah, I think what I was saying before this was just I love the S22. I do like the Master too, but I don't like it for the rides that I like to do most often. If I'm gonna go on a group ride with everybody, and you know, we're gonna be doing off-road stuff, but when you're in a group, you're not gonna be doing stuff that people could get hurt on most of the time. You're gonna be kind of chilling, relaxing. Yeah, I'm not gonna sing Fresh Prince. And yeah, you'll just take it easy. The Master's great for that. It's got more range. It feels amazing to sit on. I am not really a road street kind of guy, so I don't really sit much. I did start sitting on the S22 and it wasn't bad, but my first ride on the Master was that 60-mile road ride with a little bit of dirt at the very end, and I did at least half of it sitting down. I used to not be able to sit, and then I kind of learned on the 22, and now on the Master I'm sitting. And yeah, it feels really good to sit on this thing, especially with the Clark Pads seat. I can just squat down, stand back up. It's real good. But I mean, with Master Pro and, you know, a Monster V3, I mean, I wouldn't say you really need suspension for like hybrid group ride type rides. Maybe if you've got some kind of condition where your knees are bad or something like that, the suspension helps. But I'm kind of lost trying to figure out where the Master belongs now. It's confusing me because, like I was saying, it would be a great little road cruiser, light off-road machine. But I mean, if the trail's not that bad and you could do it with the Master, I'm sure you could do it with the Monster V3 or something with a big tire. It doesn't even have suspension, it just has a bigger tire and rolls over stuff, still goes fast, has a huge battery. So it's like, where do you want to go, Master? Because you're not a trail guy. You could be if you were the only option, but the S22 just fucking blows it away on the trails. Now that I have it, I'm gonna probably put a street tire on it and, you know, have fun in the streets. But again, just, you know, get something that either doesn't have suspension and has more battery, or, I don't know, something. I don't think this is really the best wheel for that. I mean, even a Sherman, yeah, I think I'd rather just take a Sherman to do that kind of stuff. I don't know, what the hell, man. Maybe I'm just crazy, but yeah, I could never take the Master over the S22 onto a trail, other than going to the luge. But I mean, I have to kind of do it for a while just to know. I gotta know which one, you know, I gotta have a final answer. But as of now, after about, rode all last weekend, last week, and this weekend, you know, every other day. Trails kind of like this, but not as bad as this. These rocks are, you know, something else. But yeah, I really want to fall in love with the Master because it has so many less issues than the S22, but I can't fall in love with it. It's not handling impacts and jumps and stuff like I want it to, like I imagined, because I had felt everything already on the S22. So yeah, that's my early conclusion. I'll give it another month or so and see if I even want to keep it. I don't know, I'm trying to find out how to not sound like such a bummer to end this video, but it is what it is. I guess I'm trying to think of what the Master would be perfect for, and I just can't. So I don't know. Until next time, y'all. Goodbye.